I know I can. Another episode of Mental Health Awareness. As always, I am your mental health counselor in training, William D. Beccari, alongside my boy in the nutrition and physical fitness world, Brian Karsten.
Eat your almonds.
Eat your almonds.
So good.
Eat your almonds.
How many every morning?
3. I had 3 almonds every morning, and it made me the man that I am today. That was my Bernie Sanders.
That was the Bernie? Can you give me one more time?
I had 3 almonds every day as a child. Made all the difference in the world.
That's good. That's good.
We have fun here,
That's
guys.
good.
We got it.
Hey.
We got to have fun.
Gotta stay mentally healthy.
That's right. You got to stay mentally healthy.
I'll look so much better.
All right. Today on Mental Health Awareness, guys, we are on our 6th video. Woo! 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to be talking about addressing social concerns in adolescence. So we're going to take another case study here real quick of a 17-year-old. I lovingly named him Johnny.
Johnny.
We're going to call him Johnny from here on. We're going to give a little 1-2 as far as his little background, and we're going to go from there.
Johnny.
All right.
Tell me about Johnny here.
All right. So, Johnny is a 17-year-old student who is not attending school regularly and states that he intends to drop out of school because it is boring.
So he's skipping?
What's that?
He's skipping?
Yeah.
Hooky? Hooky?
Says that he intends to drop out.
He's playing hooky, though.
He's playing hooky.
Okay.
Sounds
There's
like
not like a reason for
No.
him.
No.
We're
Correct.
one sentence in. I should wait.
Instead, you're good. Instead, he wishes to start working on, instead he wants to start working and wants to be treated like an adult. His parents claim that they are willing to treat him like an adult if he prepares for his future appropriately and can demonstrate that he will be able to find a job that he enjoys and can support himself financially. Currently, Johnny is not sure what career path he wants to follow and considers vocational training as an option. He believes that this will create more free time to be around his friends, play video games, and hang out at the local mall.
Mall guy.
Mall rat. So this sounds pretty typical. And the more we industrialize, the more technology starts to take over, the more kids become inundated with the ability to kind of choose different options and career paths for themselves. Now, mind you, Johnny's still only 17 years old, but vocational training and specific, what's the word I'm looking for besides vocational? Like technical training, is becoming more and more of an option as opposed to going to a university or a college or an institution.
You want $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of debt when you get out of college?
I think that's a low end too.
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
That's a serious low ball, but yeah, like
which is terrible.
Which is terrible.
You're just in a giant hole. I've been out of college now for 10 years, and I still am paying off my student loans.
We will eliminate student debt for everybody. Sorry, that was my Bernie.
This guy's a socialist.
God, I love it. Anyway,
are you gonna vote for Bernie?
We could talk about that at a whole later time. Actually, I do want to talk about a political podcast. That would be fun with you. That'd be really fun with you. Cool.
Look forward to that.
We'll save that for later. We'll get on a couple of our other friends as well, too, who are very knowledgeable. And we'll have maybe even a little debate, which will be fun.
Johnny.
On to Johnny. All right. So Johnny is currently in the late stage of early... This sounds funny, but Johnny is currently in the late stage of early adolescence.
Okay.
Erickson's theory of psychosocial development, particularly the identity versus role confusion stage, will play a huge part in his overall growth process. According to counseling individuals through the lifespan, as adolescents form their identities, they must give up or repudiate, that's a word, repudiate some possibilities while accepting others. Johnny is currently in the identity confusion stage where he has not experienced an identity crisis and has not committed to one particular identity.
Oh.
According to the same book, there are many counseling issues that develop during early adolescence, most of which are directly or indirectly connected to issues of self-concept, esteem, and peer inclusion. In Johnny's case, peer inclusion and self-concept are the factors influencing his current state. He wants to be around his friends more and gain more independence as an adult. Counseling individuals through the lifespan suggests that adolescents may become more involved in risk-taking behaviors and be influenced by peer pressure. That's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
This means that Johnny's behavior is being influenced by outside factors, mainly his peers and his friends, while struggling to form an identity of his own. While not fully developed, he believes that dropping out and finding a job will solidify his independence as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So
Johnny's seeking.
Exactly. What do you think about this right now?
Johnny's seeking. Johnny's seeking. So this is very different though, because at the beginning said that Johnny wanted to drop out to be a mall rat.
I think he just wanted to spend time in the mall and play video games.
Play video games.
Hang out at the local
hang
mall.
out with friends, right?
Right.
But what this is saying is that he actually is doing something positive for himself because he hasn't gone through this identity phase. He didn't have I'm a 12-year-old superstar swimmer and this is who I am, and then all of a sudden like I got hurt and now I'm not a swimmer anymore and I have to figure out what I am. Like, he hasn't been through that, and it sounds like he's seeking that in trying to find a job or something, trying to find a place that, you know, he can create and call his own.
Right.
Which is very different than I want to hang out with my friends, play video games, and mall rat.
And not have a end goal and be motivated by either money or
what is it?
Or a career or whatever.
John, it's just pure confusion. Maybe
it was role identity versus confusion.
Yeah,
it's exactly what we talked about. So I think that Johnny is going through a period now of feeling things out that are going to work best for him, even though, I mean, he even had, like, it even says here, he has the fortitude in a way to kind of go against that grain where it's like, okay, well, I see me doing my school over here. I see that. And it doesn't say whether he's academically inclined or not. It leaves that out completely. So Johnny may be a just total ball buster of a student and just be garbage and want all these things. And then, I'm going to go ahead and go into vocational training, and I'm going to go in whatever passion takes me, what way. Or he might be on the opposite end of that spectrum where he just crushes school and school is ultimately boring for him. He does say right here.
Boring.
Yeah, literally. It tends to drop out of school because it's boring.
Yeah.
So taking that into consideration, I think that it goes back to what we were saying. He's seeking out but also confused with what his role is in society. Now, that's a hard thing for a 17-year-old. I mean, like, I had no frickin' clue. Like, I knew that I was good at sports. I knew that I was good with people. I knew that I was a pretty decent student. And I knew that I wanted to at least pursue college for not really sure what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to get a higher education. And I wanted to at least try to play a sport while I was doing that. And those were my factors.
Yeah.
Johnny.
You had gone through like 12 different personalities by the time we graduated high school. Though.
True. I had older parents, which just totally tilted me. And not in a bad way. I love you, Mom and Dad. Don't get me wrong.
You were like, I have a perm, and now I have like spikes in my hair, and I'm like a rocker guy, and I'm like also a preppy athlete, and then you became like drama kid. Like, you've been everything.
I've hit it all.
Yeah, dude. You have literally been every personality type throughout your life already.
I've hit it all.
Which is unbelievable.
Hopefully that makes me a better mental health counselor.
I think that you can connect with just about everybody in some way, so I think it definitely will.
Thanks, man.
But I don't know,
Johnny.
So Johnski's over here.
Yeah,
he sounds kind of like, like a Steve Jobs type of guy, maybe even where he's like either that or maybe he's like a Jordan Phillips where he's just like, school is not my thing. I'm good at other things. Give me hands-on labor, give me long hours, and I'm a grinder. Like, that's where he's strong. But he hates school.
Right.
Or maybe it's not even the fact that he hates school, but it's just the fact that, like, he knows his identity is somewhere else. He knows his identity is beyond what they're teaching him right now, and he's just like, this is a waste of my time, and I'm anxious, and it's actually stressing me to be here because I know I could be doing bigger and better things elsewhere, even if that's just on my own.
Right.
You know,
maybe he's developed that quote unquote muscle to where he has that higher sense of thinking and knows why he is bored, knows why he's not stimulated, and also understands that there's a bigger, brighter future out there in something that makes him happy, whether it's technical, whether it's vocational, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's out there, and he knows that it's out there.
I mean, did Mark Zuckerberg finish college? Right?
I don't think so.
He created Facebook in college.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think you have to necessarily, if you know where you're going and you know that you can get there, like, why wait for someone else to tell you now it's okay for you to do it? I mean, I guess it depends. There's a lot of different situations that you can say that about.
But I know the nucleus of what you're trying to drive at.
Totally. If you're like, I can create this business and I can do this right now, I don't need somebody else to tell me, okay, when you finish this degree, then you can do it. You know?
Right, exactly.
That's more specific.
No, but that makes total
Johnny,
sense to me.
This is a very vague situation with Johnny right now.
Totally a vague situation.
What's our question here?
Left open to interpretation.
Is our question to try to discover what Johnny's feelings are? Are we trying to figure out, like, are we trying to help Johnny in discovering that, or are we trying
we're analyzing Johnny's circumstances?
We're just analyzing Johnny's circumstances.
Yes. Okay. We're analyzing his circumstances under the categories of social and cognitive development, locating and applying helpful resources, and then we break it up into other resources that he can look for regionally in his area, and then also online. Cool. All right. Locating and applying helpful resources. Understanding why Johnny wants to drop out of school is the first step. Do members of his peer group have the same mentality as Johnny? Since Johnny has stated that school is boring, does he seek a true challenge? Or is he just uninterested or unmotivated and doesn't see the merit in completing high school? As a professional counselor, the need to exhaust all potential avenues of social and cognitive development, as well as collaboration with other mental health professionals to gain a broader scope of understanding, becomes vital. This is where family-based prevention counseling comes into play. According to the article, Intervention, Fidelity, and Family-Based Prevention Counseling for Adolescent Problem Behaviors, quote, mental health intervention spectrum is a continuum of mental health services research that ranges from, how do you say that word?
Epidemiological.
Epidemiological research. Yeah. On researching mechanisms of risk
like
prevention.
Statistics.
Okay. Epidemiological. Epidemiological.
It's like human statistics.
I could say it when I wrote it out, but then I forgot it immediately. So, epidemiological. Setting up a meeting with Johnny and discovering the triggers behind why he feels the way he does is the first step in determining a treatment plan. Are there any SLE, stressful life events, currently affecting Johnny's emotional or physical health? Figuring out his goals and listening to his perspective will be important for guidance later on. Speaking with the school counselor and discussing Johnny's academic performance will further provide insight on possible treatment strategies. After speaking with Johnny one-on-one and collaborating with the counselor, setting up a meeting with his parents and discussing home life in all aspects is instrumental. Finally, exploring Johnny's interests and understand his abilities lays out a foundational roadmap for successful opportunities. Providing Johnny with a skills and career assessment test allows for his talents and abilities to be highlighted, discussed, and explored while creating the self-purpose and solidifying his true identity. After procedurally going step by step, it's important to make sure all parties involved understand the support plan and adhere to it. For example, Johnny, his parents, the school counselor, and the mental health professional all need to be following the same strategic plan. This combined support from everybody involved will provide structure for Johnny and help him achieve goals, feel successfully independent, and help develop a foundation for his identity.
Or he'll be completely annoyed with it because it'll feel like more school, and he's just getting all these tasks and all these people helping him when he's like, dude, I know and I got this and I just want to leave because you guys are all being super overbearing, and I just want to go live my life that I know that I can live.
And as a mental health, you're 100% right. As a mental health professional, you need to know that is happening in the moment, and you need to shift course. You need to be able to understand that he's bored by this. So in what way can you help him then?
Yeah.
And I'm not like asking you like right now. I'm
No,
saying
yeah.
philosophically, like
Totally.
in what way, what avenue do you then take as a professional, knowing that this is probably pissing him off, knowing that this feels like more homework for him that's academic? What do you do? And I think you have to find, it kind of goes back to last week's discussion, where you have to find the play. You have to understand what that play or that spark or that understanding where he is actually motivated by X. What motivates Johnny? Is it being financially independent? Is it wanting to be called an adult? Well, that's cool. Can you, for example, get yourself from point A to point B? Are you able to drive? Do you have to rely on public transit?
Yeah.
Like, you have to start thinking of all of these different factors. And as a mental health professional, you have to be careful. You're walking on eggshells without trying to really piss this person off.
See, this just goes back to the whole foundation of everything that we've been talking about week in and week out.
Preach.
Which is this whole profession and this whole field has so many variables.
Yep.
That there's no possible way that you could write an entire novel about Johnny and not cover everything because the human experience is so varied.
And come to inconclusive results. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, there's no way that we can sit here and read this and come up with some type of, like, treatment plan for this child.
No.
But
that's why it's all analysis.
Exactly. But coming up with, like, potential, like, potential categories of areas that we could slot Johnny into.
Which sounds terrible, but
right?
Yeah.
But you got to work your way down a tree, right? You start with, we got Johnny, and now we got Johnny the introvert or the extrovert. Now we got Johnny the very confident, strong personality.
Right.
We got Johnny the very weak and shy or whatever. I'm not tying weak and shyness together. I'm just saying this could be a possible characteristics of his personality. Right. But you work your way and whittle your way down to a point where now you have a couple very specific things that pull at Johnny's heartstrings.
Bingo.
And those are the things that you're gonna massage those, and you're gonna play to those, and you're gonna grow his confidence in those things and work your way back up the tree to find a place where Johnny's able to take action.
Yep.
And it's just hard to, there's just so many categories we could put Johnny in, just like we were talking about before. Like maybe he's the guy that you're like, Johnny already has a 401k,
at 17 years old.
Like this kid's like, who knows? Maybe he's mining, he's data mining, and we have no idea. And so he just wants to not go to school so he can make hundreds of thousands of dollars,
right,
doing stuff that his parents have no idea,
right,
what it even is.
They walk into his room and it's like 4 computers mining cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Like just
no, that's what I'm saying.
They're all like smoking.
Yeah. And they're like, whoa, we got to get this kid out of here. He's not playing with friends and stuff.
No.
And he's like, I have so much money. Like, I'm going to go live on a yacht with like all the babes I could ever dream of. And you guys can stay here and work your 9 to 5. Right. Like we have.
And then the FBI is going to call me. So, so I can go work for them.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
We have no idea. Or Johnny really needs some serious help.
Or Johnny needs some help.
Johnny needs to go to the community service. And,
yeah.
And he needs to be part of a church group. And he needs to find a place that can kind of protect him, because he doesn't have that bold, I'm going to step outside the box and I'm going to drive and grind for 12 hours to create a life that's bigger and better than anything else that I've ever seen before, like whatever.
Right.
So maybe he does need the coddling at this moment in Johnny's life.
And as a mental health professional,
mm-hmm.
you have to be cognizant of that. And that's the hard part. You know what I mean?
How does Johnny walk in the door and you're supposed to do that?
Challenge accepted.
How deep is that?
I love that shit.
How deep is that intake?
Oh, it's deep.
It's
deep.
Like, is Johnny have to fill out 40 pages of information? Like, or are you supposed to sit down and just read this kid in an hour? No
way. Excuse my language, there's no fucking way that would happen. There's absolutely no way. You would need multiple sessions. You're not going to get all the information
mm-hmm.
as far as Johnny is concerned in an hour-long counseling session.
Okay, so
you're not.
Okay, so let's just spitball here. So what are the ways that you can intake Johnny's information currently? What are the different ways that people intake?
So a one-on-one consultation with Johnny.
So in person.
Talking with the school counselor.
Okay.
Talking with his teachers.
So experienced people.
Correct.
Taking in information from experienced people
Correct.
around him, not necessarily Johnny himself.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I did mention Johnny already, didn't I?
Yeah. One-on-one with Johnny.
Yep.
Right? Which could be any way, right?
Sure.
Phone call, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Hopefully in person, but
Okay.
I digress. So Johnny, school counselor,
Mm-hmm.
whatever teachers,
Mm-hmm.
family,
Mm-hmm.
and then if he's part of an organization or a sport or a religion, I would talk to the head of that religion or the affiliation person who's designated with whatever discipline that he's doing. An extracurricular activity. Does Johnny have a coach? That's not the last person that I would
Can
go
you
to.
do that? Do they do that? Because I feel like when I went to therapy, they didn't talk to anybody. It was me.
No, well, the case of Johnny being 17 and a minor
That changes
opens
it?
up a few different doors to be able to seek the outside help.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're 25
'Cause he's
years
not
old,
technically an adult yet.
but if you're 25 years old, wouldn't all of those things still be really beneficial for a therapist to know?
Yes, but they're on a need-to-know basis in terms of the client being in jeopardy, either with the law or with them potentially breaking the law. So, like for example, let's say somebody goes into therapy, like my age, for example, and I know that, let's say just for example, my cousin has basically done this egregious thing that is breaking the law. And he is now trying to figure out what the best course of action is. No law has come down on him because it's still all like in the weeds. There's still all a bunch of factors out there. Like it might involve a significant other, whatever the case may be. I have the responsibility and, more importantly, the safety net to express if his life or anybody else's life is in danger, they have the ability to basically grant you immunity.
A therapist does.
Correct.
They're like, you can talk about this, and
Yes.
confidentiality,
Yes.
we will not tell anybody.
Correct.
But if it's a minor, they will.
If it's a minor, they have to, I believe, ask the permission of the caretaker to be able to extinguish outside resources.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. All right, and actually,
Okay.
that's a good. I was saying, go ahead.
No.
That's a good segue to going into things that he can access. But
Okay.
go ahead.
I want to continue with this though, real quick.
Go get it on. Yeah, get it
I want
on.
to run on this.
Okay.
So you have outside people that you can talk to, get their experience.
Sure.
You know, their bias is going to obviously play into this.
Right.
But at least you get another point of view, get another perspective on Johnny.
Right.
You get Johnny himself. You get obviously paperwork that Johnny and or other people can fill out.
Right.
But you can't observe Johnny, can you? Is that a thing that happens?
In what environment?
Any environment. Is there an environment in which you can observe Johnny without Johnny knowing, and so you get a true? You see what I mean?
Without the client knowing.
So that it's a true natural Johnny. You get Johnny on the nat.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that question. I do not know. That's a good question, because if Johnny knows you're observing him,
could be a totally different thing.
100%.
And any of these people he's interacting with, he knows they're observing him because he's with them.
Yeah.
You could have a completely different, like you said, he could be data mining in his bedroom and nobody knows about it, and then he's just preppy Johnny at school,
right?
You know,
with his polos and his
exactly.
white Adidas.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, that's a really valid question.
Does a therapist have access to? Like what level of privacy surveillance, like where, I don't know. Like, what is the scope of this profession here?
I think
Are you like an FBI agent? Like, what do you have here?
I think you would be violating HIPAA at that point.
Okay. Like it's a blurry space though.
No shit.
It's a really blurry space because you need all the information. You are dealing with a person's life. Like the advice or lack of advice or way that you handle some of the biggest situations that this person has ever been through.
Right.
Or some of the biggest decisions that they're ever going to make without all of the information, without all the tools at hand, is really handcuffing them. It's really handcuffing the patient, the client.
In a degree, absolutely.
Right? So how do you decide between I'm going to give this person a nugget even though I know that I don't know everything?
The short answer is...
Where do you get the confidence to do something like that?
The short answer is collaborating with your counseling peers
in
their specific specialization. So if they're like family and therapy counseling and you're an addiction counselor, but Johnny comes to you as the addiction counselor, you're like, well, I can help you, but I'm going to consult my buddy X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And they're going to give me much better... Brad, sure. Fucking Brad.
I just wanted...
So we consult Brad over here.
I just wanted to.
No, that was great.
Okay.
We consult Bradley over here.
Bradley
and
Mr. Dunn.
He can give me better tools to be able to help with Johnny's situation. So collaboration among counselors is huge.
But I thought there was a confidentiality agreement that you can't.
You could talk about. What's the thing? What's the opposite of specifics? You can talk about
vague.
You can talk about vague things. Well, yeah, but I mean, you can't talk about details, but you could talk about a grand scope of things.
So you're like
hypothetically,
Johnny. Johnny's dealing with a situation where he knows something about someone that could be potentially illegal. How should he deal with it?
Yeah.
Without being like, Johnny's cousin killed somebody.
Yeah. Right. Johnny's cousin's got a body buried in the back. All right. So
Brad's
let's see how Johnny can access resources that might benefit him, not necessarily for his quote unquote problem that people think they're having with him, but to accelerate his discipline and whatever makes him happy. Johnny and his family are located in Portland, Oregon.
Oh!
I just made that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
One resource Johnny...
Oh, yeah, you wrote this.
I wrote this.
God.
One resource Johnny can utilize is an organization called LifeWorks Northwest. LifeWorks Northwest provides a professional and safe space for youth to discuss problems and issues during adolescent development, right? Corey will be on later. According to childhood family instability and mental health problems during late adolescence, a test of 2 meditation models, the TRAIL study, quote, childhood is an important development stage for shaping mental health trajectories, and that childhood family environment represents a vital link for understanding these mental health trajectories. LifeWorks has a few locations in the Portland metro area, which makes accessibility easy for Johnny and his family.
There you go, Johnny.
Johnny and his parents can also find out what programs are offered at his school as per the school counselor. Once Johnny completes his GED, options such as vocational school or trade school may be valid options as opposed to college or university. After a skills assessment test, Johnny and his parents will have a better understanding of his talents and abilities, therefore solidifying his identity and applying his natural skills to something he truly enjoys and finds an overall sense of satisfaction.
Does Johnny want to get a GED? I thought he wanted to drop out.
Well, I think that once he completes it, I think his job opportunities are substantially better.
Why would you go complete a GED if you could just finish high school?
Well, if you finish high school, like, no. Okay, so let me look.
Because that's just better than the GED,
If he drops out, goes into some sort of vocational training.
And then gets the GED
Correct.
later?
Correct.
I thought it was like, I'm going to drop out to go get my GED. It's you still have to take classes and stuff to go get your GED.
No.
I'm just going to take a different school to get a... I don't know if that's technically a lesser. Is it equal? How is a GED viewed in the public eye?
I think in the professional world, it's on par as having a high school degree.
So 2 people walk into McDonald's. One has a high school diploma. One has a GED. Everything else is equal. They have equal chance. They have equal shot at the job. There's not one that's like
loosely. I'm gonna say yes, but I think it's a circumstance by circumstance basis.
Totally putting you on the spot.
No. I appreciate that though.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
I don't know either. All right.
Because in my mind, like my first thought is that the high school diploma would be more because it's stating that you did 4 years worth of work versus you took a test, right?
Right.
Where that's like, I know that in my industry, it's a huge issue because there's people like me that went to school for 4 years to get an exercise science degree. And there's other people that took 3 months and studied for a test and got a certification. And legally, they both can have the same job, even though one has a substantially more knowledge than the other person.
Totally. But don't you think that you having all of that background and understructure makes you a better personal trainer?
I do. Like, absolutely.
I know for me, I would feel inferior if I dropped everything that I did today, said, screw mental health counseling, I'm going to be a personal trainer, I'm going to do this, I'm going to study for the 3 months, I'm going to go through whatever I need to do, I'm going to pass the test. I would be nowhere near your level of expertise.
But I also have 10 years of experience. That's very different.
Right. Even
fresh out,
time out, though. Even me having an additional 10 years of experience on top of that, I would still feel inferior.
Huh. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know the true hard and fast answer, but
I mean, because that's how it is in the industry. Is there's people that they'll have 10 years of experience and they have their certification and they could have studied a ton.
Sure.
And the 4-year person could have studied for 4 years and then never again. And so it's hard to weigh that. But at first glance, the feeling probably because I'm on the side of having the degree,
totally.
I value that. It might just be, I'm pot committed, and so I feel that way.
Well, and that's fair too. Maybe
right?
I feel the same way too because I went to a 4-year college, and so like I see the merit in that. Even though you're not, especially at a college or university, you're not like laser focused the entire 4 years. No. You don't pull your head up. That's bullshit. Like the college experience.
Completely.
Yeah, the college experience is just that. It's an experience. It's all of that plus your social interactions, plus what you do with your free time. It's everything.
And I'm really sad that Johnny's going to miss out on all that.
We should talk to Johnny.
Johnny, don't go get your GED. You're going to miss out on all of it.
I was going to drop in a Bernie voice again.
Do it.
College will be tuition free. You can experience it at no cost. Sorry. Okay.
Do it, Johnny. It's free.
Moving on.
It's free, man.
Moving on. Finally, in our last topic here, resources Johnny can access online. And I found this one actually pretty interesting because I started screwing around with this a little bit too.
All right, you guys pay attention to this one. This one's
important. I like this one. Johnny and his parents can explore different opportunities online as far as resources are concerned. One resource is hopefulminds.org, a project developed by iFred. Hopeful Minds is a project based on research that hope is a teachable skill. The concept is to provide students, parents, and teachers with a set of tools they need to learn, define, and grow a hopeful mindset. Johnny and his parents can utilize this resource and its positive nature to further solidify his growing maturity and identity by using the 7 Cups of Hope badge, which is a 12-lesson section dedicated to 13-year-olds and above focusing on hope. And that's at hopefulminds.org. So go check that out, guys. I actually found a lot of cool stuff there. They do a good job of laying out like different frameworks for you to be able to follow. Like I said, they have this 7 Cups of Hope badge process, which is cool. It's like a 12-step lesson section that's like, you did this today, and we're going to make you feel good because of X, Y, and Z. Now look forward to next week. And so it's really cool how they have it laid out. I encourage you guys to go check it out.
You get a badge?
I think it's a metaphorical badge. You get a certification. You could probably print it out if you wanted to.
She give you a badge.
Like, you hear that, Hopeful Minds? Do you get a badge?
I mean, like the martial arts give you the belt.
Sure.
Like, get the badge.
Get the badge.
Like you
get that
physically,
badge.
you're like, I'm doing something. I passed. It's like
put trophy companies back in business. Get that badge.
It's like Pokemon. Like, imagine if you went to the gym and you're like, Brock. You're like, Brock, I got Bulbasaur. I'm going to destroy all of your rock-type Pokemon.
Yep.
So I wipe you clean, and he's like, cool. No, he gives you the badge. He gives you the badge, man, and you're like, yes, I take this badge with me, and I carry it strong, and it shows that I will catch them all.
That's right. Maybe they give him a badge. I don't know.
I hope he gets a badge.
I hope he gets a badge.
I hope they get a badge. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Sorry, Pokemon ran.
Another great online resource Johnny can explore is oktotalk.org.
Cupid?
Right. OK to Talk is a secure online community where teens and young adults can post discussions about their current feelings, emotions, and overall general well-being. Anything can be talked about or shared in different forms. Whether it's sharing a poem, an inspirational quote, song lyrics, videos, or messages, OK to Talk provides a safe space and the support needed for struggling individuals. Johnny has the creative freedom to express himself in any fashion and relate to his peers who feel the same way. Now, I found this one really interesting because OK to Talk sounds like a combination of social media platforms that came well before OK to Talk. I'm going back like all the way to LiveJournal.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Deep.
Like, you have the ability to express yourself in written word. You have the ability to now upload videos. You have the ability to play a song that invokes an emotion inside of you and share that with a community that's secure. And I think that's really interesting.
What do they mean by the word secure? Like, what makes it secure?
I had this written.
You know what I mean?
Out somewhere.
Like, are these people that are within some type of specific demographic, like so that they qualify to be a part of the community? Like,
let's take a look.
Like, how are you a secure member? Like, because everybody's emotional. Like, so how do you know that you send a song and somebody's like, I hate that song? You know? It's not secure.
Or you're KYS. You're like, well, screw you.
Yeah,
like,
you know, like I don't like what. Yeah, what are the qualifications for security here?
Let's take a look.
Okay. Because there's 9 billion forums for people to talk on, right? So what makes this different? Well, you have to be a teen or young adult,
Correct.
It seems like. So there's one
Correct. So that's one
qualification.
qualification.
Okay. They have to be recovering in tragedy or struggling for hope. Is that what I read?
Yep.
Okay. Sounds like a not secure place. If I'm in a community full of people that are all in trauma.
Here we go. Every story is submitted and reviewed by NAMI, which is an acronym I can go back and read. And all stories are not and may not be posted on the blog. Stories with inappropriate or offensive language, as well as information about specific medications or medical treatments, may not be posted. Stories in which are longer than 800 words may be shortened or not posted. Ouch.
Wow.
The name you submit on the here we go. The name you submit or the name of your Tumblr profile will be posted on the internet along with your story and may be shared on other social media platforms and indexed through Google searches.
Wait. Interesting. I figured they would make that anonymous.
Right? Like that's
which would be more secure.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah, it's in Google searches and stuff?
Indexed through Google searches.
That sounds not secure.
That sounds like a bad place.
That sounds like a terrible.
Right?
So we're going to modify what you wrote and
we're going to take it out of context.
Yeah. Like, I don't know about this. I don't know. I understand, like, okay, so they have a firewall system,
right?
You know, which is huge.
Sure.
Like the first two, I was like, this is really great.
Right.
Like, okay, there's no bad language. Like, we're making sure
you
that
have
these
to be
are
a
good
certain
things.
age bracket.
Be a certain age bracket. This is all good. And then they're like, okay, but we can change it and put it anywhere on the internet.
Yeah.
With your name.
Yeah.
They kind of fell off at the end for me.
They kind of shot themselves in the foot there.
A little bit, yeah. I don't really want you to do that because now I'm not in control of where this is being put.
Right.
I've now just handed over with my name attached.
Do not post personal information such as phone numbers, emails, or addresses.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So.
Well, they're asking you not to.
Right.
They're not even saying we won't.
I bet. Well, I bet they regulate it though.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Anyway, More about OK to Talk later, because I want to do some more research about this, because I was reading something while I was doing my discussion post about how they were actually secure, but now I'm kind of skeptical.
Well, I mean,
kind of skeptical.
There might be some reason why they have to say that. Like, they potentially OK to Talk is just not a big enough organization to have enough firewall security to protect Google from infiltrating them of some kind.
If Google wants to get in, they're going to get in.
Yeah, if Google wants your information, they're going to get the information from your website somehow, some way, right?
They already got it.
So, yeah. Exactly. So
it looks like it's
maybe they have to do that just because they don't have the financing for it, but they regulate it with the first couple, with the review part, so much so that it's just absolutely like, they're not going to put anything else out there.
Okay. So it looks like, and we'll wrap this up here real quick, but it looks like OK to Talk is very much affiliated with Tumblr, because they even say in their submission guidelines. Where was it? Where they actually talk about?
Okay.
Was it? Where it was back on the about? No, was it here?
No, yeah.
Where was Tumblr? I remember seeing Tumblr just a second ago.
Because right here, it could be posted to Google or Tumblr or whatever, right? Your name is attached.
There it is. Yeah, your name, the name you submit, or the name of your Tumblr profile will be posted. Up here is Tumblr. It's already like blacked out.
So who owns Tumblr?
Aha, exactly. That was my Google search. Verizon.
Okay. Does Google own Verizon? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Nope.
Interesting.
Well, there's
more research to be done.
There's something going on here. But I'm glad that, if I haven't participated in it, but it sounds like, obviously, if it's an organization that's up and running and things are happening and people are utilizing it.
And they haven't been sued yet.
And they haven't been sued yet. That they're, as for now, they are doing a good thing. And you could probably ask them why they've written that on there and then make the distinction for yourself based on your own personal situation. If you're Johnny, you can decide as Johnny, is this something secure enough for me?
Right.
And if it does feel secure enough for you, then you can utilize that to move forward and to find that community.
Right.
If it's not, then maybe you have to find something that's even more secure.
Exactly.
Like literally, we're going to meet in person with 4 other people at some group event.
Right.
Where all phones are left at the door and we just talk.
Right.
And there's no cameras, no anything, and nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Which is like pretty secure, so, but that's on Johnny.
That's on Johnny.
That's on Johnny.
That's on Johnny. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Brinkley, thank you for licking my face. I love you too, sweetheart.
Come on, babe.
And we'll see you guys next week on mental health awareness. Take care. Be safe. Much love. Hug your cat. Kiss your dog. See you guys later.